Well, hello, friends. It's been a while, I think, since I've done Sacred Space, and you've had some great stories from Miss Kane and Miss Timmer, the dynamic Amandas. So, welcome, and let's go ahead and do our gathering song. I'll play it through once, and then Ann will help us sing it. It's been a while.
God welcomes all strangers and friends. God's love is strong and it never ends.
All right, today we're going to learn about Jesus in Capernaum and Moses looking out onto the Holy Land. Okay, friends, we're on. The green light is on, so here we are. I wanted to show you something. Today's Bible lesson is there's all I'm kind of giving it away here a little bit. So let's go here. Let's start here. Do any of you know what this is? For added protection, I put a little band across my number there. That is called a credit card, and you might have seen your parents use it. Some people just use them all the time now and then pay off the balance, which is good. But this is a card that says, I promise to pay back. I promise two things. First, I promise I'll tell Ann before I use it. And second, I promise that um, um, we promise as a family that we will pay it back. We'll pay back whatever money, whatever the cost of what I purchased with the credit card um, will be paid back. And that's what today's story is all about. And a lot of people, before I get too far ahead, a lot of people get in a lot of trouble with credit cards and with credit and with easy and people willing to give you easy credit and make what we call a lot of folks become indentured servants to um, the the credit industry in this country. So um, credit cards can be good and they can really be bad. And as you grow older, I hope your parents teach you good financial stewardship. But anyway, let's move on to the story to the two Bible passages. The first one's from Deuteronomy, and I actually set up. I guess it's my old college professor in me. I can't avoid having death by PowerPoint here. Okay, so here's the first. All right, the first last Bible lesson that's in our lectionary this week is from Deuteronomy 15:18 through 20, chapter 15, and I just took all of chapter 15. And Deuteronomy, by what I call by tradition, it was actually written many hundreds of years after Moses' death, after Moses was no longer around. It is actually probably written even after the time of when David was king. But by tradition, we have Deuteronomy be Moses' last sermon instruction to his people as he's looking out over the promised land. And I think that's a beautiful story. That's what it is, even though it was written much later that than when Moses was alive, but that this is his parting thing. And what he said in the Deuteronomy passage that we're reading today is that um, every seventh year you will forgive all your debts. You will forgive everyone of their debts. You will live as the Ten Commandments tell us to live, and therefore you won't, which is we watch out for everybody. And if you live that way, you will be able to you can forgive all debts, and people get a fresh start, and there will be joy in the nation. And we're going to do that every seventh year. And this isn't in the Deuteronomy, but what this leads to is um, rejoice, sound the trumpet. It is your jubilee. All debts are forgiven. And on the seventh sabbatical year, and in university teaching parlance, a sabbatical is when every 6 or 7 years university teachers get to take a sabbatical where they take a year off to go study what they want to study and kind of be left alone, but they still have to answer emails. Anyway, all debts are forgiven. Everything is forgiven. Just like the Lord has forgiven through Jesus Christ, has forgiven us for everything. We tend to like that forgiveness, but we have a real hard time forgiving others. We like it that we're forgiven. And so that's what Moses is telling his people in Deuteronomy, is that the Lord has provided this land of milk and honey. We've got everything we need if we just go out, be good citizens, love each other, and love our neighbors as ourselves, which is actually later on in the New Testament, but the Old Testament is leading that way and has all kinds of stories that say that very same thing. They just don't, this is not outright. We will be fine. Now, so now let's go to Jesus's ministry. This is right at Mark. Boom, boom, boom. Things are happening quick. That's the way Mark goes. All right. Jesus is in Capernaum, which is up in the northern part. He's come down from Galilee. He's actually he was raised in Nazareth, and he comes to the synagogue, not to the synagogue, and he's asked to preach. He is a rabbi. Okay, Jesus, don't remember that always, that Jesus was a rabbi, so he was trained in the rabbinical ways. And they said, hey, why don't you read the scrolls today? And so he opened the scrolls, and I'll just go to the passage real quick so I don't mess this up. And so in this, it says, they went to Capernaum, and when the Sabbath came, he entered the synagogue and taught. They were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Just then there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying out with a loud voice, came out of him, and they were all amazed. And so Jesus, and there's kind of and I like this depiction because it doesn't give us the the Danish Jesus. But anyway, Jesus casts out demons, and I always have demons in quotes, and heals. And in the other Gospels, in this very same scene, and then Jesus left and he healed the man and then went on, and that's Mark. But in the other Gospels, in Matthew and Luke, in this scene, Jesus says, "The Jubilee is now among us." And I think that this man who has the unclean spirits wants to keep people that owe him money to keep owing him money. In other words, he wants to have control. He does, and it also says in Deuteronomy, you'll free your slaves. And I think this man is saying, and I hear this a lot when people start saying, we just need to forgive all debts. We need to have reparations. People say, who are you to tell me that? The demons come in. But if we remember what Jesus says, as Christians, that is the way we are to live. Okay? So those are our two stories that we have today. We started off with Moses looks out on the promised land by tradition, writes Deuteronomy, which is his love letter of here's your do's and don'ts love letter to the people, because he will not be able to go into the promised land with them. And the most important thing he says in there is forgive all debts, have a sabbatical every 7th year, and every 7th sabbatical, so that'd be 49 years, almost 50, have a jubilee where everyone is forgiven. And we start with a clean slate. We are reborn. We are born anew. And that's the Jubilee. And this is what Christ came and taught. But people didn't want to hear it. However, this man listened, and the demons that he was holding in left him. All right. Let's go do our going song as soon as I learned how to figure out how to turn this off. Okay. I think I can just stop it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we've heard the story of Moses writing to the people, giving the people the gift of the Jubilee, the Sabbath, and the sabbatical, and then the Jubilee, and Jesus casting out the quote-unquote demons of those who don't want to let go of people owing them things. So now it's our turn to talk to God. So let me light the candle, and I'll let y'all see it. Here we go. Oh, first time. It's our candle. It's our turn to pray. My prayer is that someday we'll all learn how to forgive others their debts to us and live in community the way creation was meant to be lived in. Let's go ahead and put out the candle. And the smoke rising reminds us that God is everywhere, in all we do and everywhere we go. So let's go ahead and let's do our going song. I'll play it through once, and then I think I would know how to do this. Kind of messed up my C chord there. I'm going to do it one more time. There we go. Go in peace.